come up. You're going to hit application. You're going to go ahead and you're going to put the individual's name in. So I'm going to use my name, my last name, and you're getting all this information from the pre-qual form. The birth date, I was born 80. I know I look so much younger, thank you so much. I'm a male. Now right here, the owner of the policies, typically it's going to be the self. But let's say you're writing a policy on a younger child, then it's going to be the mother or the grandmother. So I'm going to do self. The city, right now I'm in Jacksonville, so it's the city of where you're writing the policy, or where the individual is at. So if you are in if you're doing telesales, so if you're doing telesales and somebody's in Baltimore, then that's the city that you're going to put, and then the state the owner is currently in, and then hit next. Now what that just said is basically that the individual is going to have to answer the question. So, are you currently in a hospital? Do you see how that? No. Have you been 6 months? No. So you see how on that one question in the last 10 years, that's why we do that, so we don't have to ask them every single one of these. Heart problems, lung, kidney, circulatory, liver, those are all on the pre-qual form. Cancer. Now if it's been over 10 years, just hit no. So if they had cancer and the last treatment is over 10 years, then the answer is no, because the software automatically will not allow them to get preferred when they might qualify for preferred. So I'm going to repeat that. If they've had cancer or a stroke or a heart attack and it's been over 10 years, then the answer is no. Do you use any form of nicotine? So there you go. Height and weight. 5'10". Weight is 220. Medication. So whatever medications you have there, I'm going to go through a couple so you can see. Up top here, you just go ahead and you type it in. Lisinopril pops up, and then what the condition, why they're taking the medicine. So it's for a heart problem or blood pressure, typically blood pressure. Another real common one would be amlodipine. You can see it just pops up, and you can put blood pressure. Let's say another one would be, let's say HTC. What, that doesn't come up? Why not? Oh, let's look here. H. Well, you're not seeing this HTC. So, for instance, if you don't find it, like meloxicam, HTC, things like that, you're going to hit not listed. And then what's the purpose of the medication? If it's not in our system, we're going to add it, because this software is going to do the underwriting. So the way that we're going to add it is we have to find out the condition. So we'll use meloxicam. Let's say they take it for arthritis. You come up here and you hit arthritis, and you see it's not listed as one of the medications. So you hit request exception, you type it in, and then boom, you'll see it will come up. It will say meloxicam, and now it's categorized in arthritis. So now it's going to underwrite it as arthritis. So depending on what the medication is used for, that is it. So something like gabapentin, which can be used for multiple different things. It can be used for arthritis, not a big deal. Used for seizures or diabetes, it makes a completely different underwriting. So after you get all those in there, you just hit next, and now it's going to tell you exactly what they qualified for. So we're going to go for the preferred whole life. Hit next. Adult insured is required to answer the own health questions. Now this is the little information, basically it's the presentation in the application. So a lot of the information you already have that we send out in a presentation, but there's also one right here. Next, this brings up the legacy. and talk about that already as well. Or here's another little point to talk about it. This is the video, so that's where you get to the video that you're going to watch with them. And when I hit next, it might take a couple of seconds just because it's going to populate. The next screen is actually going to be the quotes. Alright, so now we got the quotes, and this is what they qualified for. So once you get to here, alright, and you exit out, you are going to lose all the data that you've collected. So let's say by chance you've gotten this far and you can't move past this. So there's the close didn't work and they're not going with the insurance. You still want to hit next because that's going to save the data, or let's say that they want you to come back or you're going to follow up. So it's not a hard no, it's just a not right now. You hit next, that's going to save the information. Now down here you're going to see the legacy assurance. You see how it adjusts the $3? That's right, so you want to make sure that's always there. Custom over here, always go all the way up to the top so they can see the most amount they can get, and then show them that. You can always work around their budget, but let's show them the most, because you can't get it if you don't ask for it. Now we're going into the application, and also this little button down here, the home. If you see this, I go back to under construction. Do you see how the information is here? So I can click it and it's going to bring me right back. So going into the proposed insured, you're just going to fill out this information. I know you guys thought I was going to put my real social security number, didn't you? And then we're just going to fill this out a little bit. And you're going to be getting all this information off your pre-qual form. Remember, if they didn't have an email, you see how there's a little asterisk? Anything that has an asterisk has to be filled out. So we're going to use none@none.com. And you see how I have that little blue mark, yellow check. That means that's good. Policy, mother's maiden name. This is my actual mom's maiden name. Beneficiary, so you just got to make sure that there's information in the asterisk. You don't have to fill everything else out. You can if you want to, but to move forward, you have to have the specific asteroids filled out. So here it says make a state the secondary beneficiary. You can do that, or you can hit no and then put a secondary beneficiary, and that's what I'm going to do. Down here you can see where there's a little plus. If you hit that plus in the bottom right corner, what's it going to do is it's going to allow you to add another person. It automatically changes the percentages, but let's say they wanted to do it 25-75. You just go in there and change it manually. And then to clear the field, brings it back. So we got the yellow check. No, we don't. Why not? Because, haha, see? I know you caught that, didn't you? Alright, existing insurance. Always mark yes on the loan provision. And then existing life insurance, no. But if it's a yes, you're going to put the company. If their company's not listed, just go to other. And then right down below that, you will put it in. If it's being replaced, typically we're not replacing policies. And funds used. Now, if you are going to replace the policy, definitely try to get the policy number in there. See the yellow check? Now we're going to go to the next. You see down at the bottom too with the yellow check? That means that category is all done. Face amount. Got to make sure you pick a face amount, any face amount. legacy. So this is the legacy members. Basically what this is a way for you to kind of get referrals, and at the same time, if there's somebody that lives in their house that they might not be related to, their household legacy members. So we want to get their names down under their policy. So let's add somebody here. We're going to add Brett Hinman. Alright. And I'm going to go to the health questions. Now go ahead and read these to the client. Make sure that you're reading them so they're giving you the answer. Most of these you'll probably know by the time you get here. Physician, so all you need is the name or medical facility, and then the city of where it's at. I try to always put the doctor. This is another point where you get to review the medications with them, just to let them know, kind of go over it a couple times, because the more you talk about it, something might come up. We want to underwrite them specifically for what they're going to get approved, because our company is going to run a prescription check, and that prescription check is going to come back everything that they've gotten filled over the last 10 years. So if something's not on here, it's going to affect the underwriting that we're about to propose. Is the payer the same? Yes. And you hit bank service. If you hit no and you go to bank service, you're going to have to fill in, the information. If you hit yes and go to, it already kind of brings it over. And so if, like, say the husband and wife, same names, you can just change their name up there with the same address. You're going to put in all the information. So account name, bank, and account number. Now here's the tricky thing. For demonstrations purposes, it has to be a real routing number. So I'm going to put ViStar's routing number in. For demo purposes, just throwing anyone in there, it would know that it was a fake and it wouldn't let me go farther. Checking or savings. Now for a super preferred, it has to be checking, just so you know. Initial withdrawal date, and then the future withdrawal date, right? Now let's say we're going to do a live check. They have a check, we got it made out. You can even make it out for them and have it signed. After you take a picture of the check and you use the photo, make sure it's a nice picture. You see how the date changed? If you notice, it went from the 4th to the 3rd. Okay, so let's say they have a post-dated check, and they're not going to want this to start until the 15th. You got to come down here and change it. Make sure you change it, because it's automatically going to change it to immediate business as soon as you take a picture of the check. Alright. Now it's going to ask for signatures. Here is where you have a couple options. The person can sign. Let's say they're not available to sign because you're doing it over the phone. This is where you'd hit recording. And let's say there was two people. Let's say the insured was here, but the payer was going to be her brother who lived in California. We would hit not available on the brother, and then we would hit the signature on the insured. And then we would come back into the file later when we got him on the phone to do a recording. Or if he flew in to sign it for us. Not happening. So this is where we're going to sign. Now you're going to make sure that the insured signs first. So the first signature is for the insured. The second signature is the payer. So it could be different.